welcome to a new video. In today's video I'm gonna do a late wrap-up of books that I've been reading this spring, because I realized I haven't done a wrap-up in a few months. So now we're gonna talk about the books. Let's roll the video. So I'm not gonna talk about every book that I have read since my last wrap-up video, but I'm gonna talk about the books that I have read that I really enjoyed or just loved. So yes, and I'm gonna talk about the audiobooks first, and then I will talk about the books that I have at my own home. So at first, in April, I think it was, I have read The Angel Tree by Lucinda Riley. I still remember it. It was a few months now since I read it, but it is one of the best books I've read this year. I really enjoy the story, the back and forth in present time, from the present time to the past. I really enjoyed it. I understand why Lucinda Riley's books are so popular. I really enjoyed that book. It still sticks with me. So, and then now in May, I think it was, I read or listened to The Overnight Guest. I made a reading vlog when I read that book, so I will link it down below. But yes, it's also one of the books that still sticks with me. Is it like the best book I read this year? No, but the ending I didn't see coming. Yeah, I will link the reading vlog down below so you can watch it and find out more what I think. But I do enjoy the book. I know that a lot of people on BookTube has read that book. Now I'm gonna talk about the books that I own, or yes, that So yes, now we're just gonna go through them. I'm gonna try not to make this a long video, but yes. So in February, or in March, I think it was. I don't know exactly when it was, but yeah, I read Misery by Stephen King. I have read Stephen King's Misery in Swedish before, but now earlier this spring, I read it in English the first time and really enjoyed it. For some reason, I think the translation in the Swedish one is fine. I don't see anything problem with it, but I do still think that this one is quite better, because sometimes when the translations does, things fall apart, like you don't really get to have everything. So, and now when I read this one in the original, I can see, I thought this was more creepier now when I read it in English. So yes, this one I read. Then I read one of my own books, now in April, maybe? No, in May? I don't know. This summer, I think it was. I read not the final book, but the latest book in this series. This one will be translated into English. at some point. I don't know when, but in the future it will be. But Malin B. Olssons latest book, I rättvisans skugga, well, this is a sci-fi fantasy book with some love in, I would say. So now when this is the third book, I will not try to say much, but it was good. And as usual, Malin B. Olsson, you know how to write exciting, intriguing books with not too much love, but still with some love. Yes. Then this is actually the latest book that I have finished. It's not mine, it's the library's book, so I will return it. But it's brandmannen Ulf Kvensler's book Sarek has been translated into English. It's called The Couple's Trip, a novel. If you haven't read that one, you should. It's very good. Though I didn't really like the ending, I highly recommend it. So, The Couple's Trip, a novel, you should read it. It's by the same author as this one. He's an author in Sweden, and I hope that this one will be translated into English as well, because I think this one is better than his first book. In this one, it's a psychological thriller. So in this one, we follow Isaac, who's working in a care home for elderly people, and in one day his father calls him and he wants to meet him, and from there things starts to happen. Then I read, this is not my book, but I borrowed it from my stepmother. It's a Swedish thriller by Katarina Wenstam. I read this one. I thought it was good or okay for the most part, but then at the end I just thought it was too much. No, it wasn't too much. It got boring, and it just I almost fell into a reading slump. But I will say it was pretty good, and I really liked the ending. I'm so glad I actually finished it, because I did find the ending satisfying. And then a book that I also made a reading vlog on, The Murders at the Fleet House by Lucinda Riley. Of course, I did read this one as well. I did read this at the beginning of this year. Still remembering it. Yes, I have a reading vlog on it, so I will not talk too much about it, but I still remember this book. Really enjoying it. Of course, I want to read more of Lucinda Riley. I understand, as I said, why she's so popular. One Dead Bully, A School of Suspects. I say no more. I'm glad I read it, and I love this cover. So that is all the books that I will talk about in this wrap-up. Now, I have read some more books, but I will not talk about everyone, because then it will be a long video to edit, and it will be a long video for you to watch. So, but these are the books that I did enjoy, and the spring has been interesting. But it also has been, I also have been reading some very good books this spring and at the beginning of the summer, so I'm happy. I hope to be reading more good books. But yes. But anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment of telling me what you have been reading this spring. Yes. Thank you for watching. Bye.